There we go.
Hi, I'm Shannon Landon, and I'm the CEO and founder of CodeCraftWorks.
Can we turn up the volume?
CodeCraftWorks is an ed tech company teaching computer science and software engineering to students 8 to 22. Backed by the National Science Foundation, CodeCraftWorks has been doing the exciting research and development of a software-based learning application to help young people prepare for a digital future. The digital future that's already here. In collaboration with the Brevard Achievement Center, CodeCraftWorks is hiring student interns for paid on-the-job training for the Fibonacci program. The Fibonacci program is a year-long learning and working opportunity for students with disabilities to gain technical knowledge, experience, and confidence. The Fibonacci program is delivered in 3 phases and starts over the summer. During phase 1, students work part-time in person Monday through Thursday. They're learning the basics of web development and data analytics. The students will become certified in these skills by the end of the summer and produce project-based portfolio that can be shared and referenced. Phase 2 and phase 3 of the program continue during the fall and spring semesters with part-time remote work. Student interns took a deep dive into the principles of computer science and software development while learning the ins and outs of remote collaboration and communication. The internship is not easy, but through this connection to their own passion for things like video games, social media, and digital entrepreneurship, interns tend to see the work in a really positive light and enjoy the challenge of learning and accomplishing things that are so meaningful and potentially impactful to their future. The program participants earn multiple certifications, develop a really impressive work experience and portfolio throughout the year, and they connect with new like-minded friends and mentors that could last a lifetime. Most importantly, they come away with an increased self-confidence and serious technical problem-solving skills applicable in any industry. Enthusiasm for this work, when it's connected to a purpose or passion that's meaningful to the student, is invaluable. It's rare and unique for students to find jobs or learning experiences that combine their personal skills, talents, and interests. It's really that magic that we're looking for and that we're developing that makes this internship especially impactful for the digital generation as well as their employers. This program matters because we're in a time of incredible change. People across the world have a small computer in their pocket all the time that's connected to the World Wide Web of data, information, digital tools, and opportunity. Our jobs landscape is changing quickly too. Jobs of the future will include the roles we see today, like data analyst, software engineer, or social media specialist. Those come along with new and emerging roles, technical ones that we may not have even thought of yet. We're all using technology in our daily lives, but most of us don't understand how to read and write code. It's collectively our responsibility to encourage and support the contributions, engagement, and representation of all people, all abilities, as machine learning and AI models of the future are developed and deployed. Without a doubt, there's a global pipeline shortage of prepared and engaged technical talent for millions of unfilled STEM jobs in 2020 and beyond. CodeCraftWorks believes this exciting program is in a unique position to provide an entry point for many differently abled students to take part in learning today so they can continue to be represented in the future.
Okay. All right, so that's the video. I don't know, did everyone have good enough sound to hear that? You can also send a link in the chat.
No.
Okay, that's what I thought, because I personally couldn't hear it that well. I can hear it somewhat. So
No.
I will put the link for that video in the chat so everyone has it, but please feel free to reach out if you have any questions about the program. We still have some spaces available. It's about half full right now. So, you know, we need to get requests in as soon as possible because the program does start on June 1st. So thank you very much.
Hello all, this is Jackie Yerby from Angels Bridging Gaps and Bright Beach. Just want to say hello to everyone.
And we do have Jason from CARD coming up next, as soon as we get that up and running. So just give us a couple of minutes.
Yep.
And I appreciate everyone's patience and everyone's participation. As you know, this is kind of a new thing we're trying here. So there are going to be a few kinks and a few things going on, but I appreciate everyone's heart being in the right place and trying to bring everything together. So just be patient with us.
Thanks, Jackie.
Thank you, Jackie. I think we have it ready to go. And so what you're looking at on your screen is a video from UCF CARD, the Center for Autism and Related Disabilities. And I will go ahead and get that going for you right now.
Kara?
Natalie, hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Oh, I just found out from our family doctor that my son has autism. I really don't know where to turn, so I'm looking through every book they have here, hoping to find answers or something.
I remember that feeling. My oldest son has autism, so I know how you feel.
Your son has autism? I didn't know.
Yeah. Before I found the CARD Center, I was lost.
The CARD Center?
The CARD Center is the Center for Autism and Related Disabilities here in town.
No, I can't afford anything like that.
It doesn't cost anything for us. They're funded by the state. They're there to help you. I could tell you more about it. Do you have time to sit down and have a cup of coffee?
Sure. I'd like to hear more about your son as well as about CARD.
CARD provides services to individuals living in Central Florida, their families, and the professionals that help them. The Florida legislature created CARD to meet the non-residential needs of individuals with autism and related disabilities, working in conjunction with other local agencies. CARD's mission is to provide these individuals and their families with emotional support and technical assistance to help better their quality of life, and to provide training and public awareness about autism across the community, especially for local families. CARD services are available free of charge.
Well, where do I start? Let me tell you something about my experiences. Will, my son, didn't communicate at all. I was in denial for a long time. I kept thinking he'd grow out of it. I went through a whole roller coaster of emotions: guilt, denial, frustration, even anger. Our first doctor said he would grow out of it, but Willie wasn't. So I changed doctors, and after our new pediatrician diagnosed him with autism, I realized I had to do something. I looked in the library and talked to my doctor, but there was so much information and all I could see were letters and terms. I didn't know where to begin.
Yeah, there are so many terms that I've heard and found online, but I just don't know what they mean.
IEP, APD, LRE, Due Process, Advocacy Center, BIP, FBA, IDEA, Early Steps, Supported Employment, VR, ADA, Inclusion, ABA.
Well, finally, Willie's preschool teacher told me to contact CARD, so I did. When I got there, I found they had pamphlets and even a library of books and videos I could check out. When I first arrived, I was able to complete what they call an intake. It's just a general information form, and it took only, about 10 minutes. Then we were assigned a staff member. She's called a coordinator. When you get a coordinator, you'll probably have a meeting where they'll ask you what you need.
I don't even know if I can tell you what I need or what we need.
When I met with the coordinator from CARD that was assigned to me, I told her I really wanted Willie to communicate with us. I even started crying. I just needed to talk that day. I was so upset, I forgot everything that she said, but then I contacted her by email. I guess if I hadn't gotten back in touch with her, she would have thought that she'd help me, and I would have felt just as lost and alone. The CARD coordinators rely on us to ask for what we need and follow up. When I got back in touch with her, she shared an example of a communication system using pictures of things Willie may want. He could use it to tell us how he was feeling. In the past, if we went out to eat, he'd get upset and have a tantrum. It was just awful. People would stare, and they'd say horrible things to me. I dreaded going out to eat anywhere because it was so frustrating not knowing what he wanted. He just couldn't tell me what he needed. Some of my friends and family even just couldn't understand. And I felt so bad. Mark was tired and frustrated. I felt like I should solve the problem somehow and make everything better. And there was Willie. It was like he was in his own world. And we were expecting our second baby. So I couldn't do it alone. We began to learn more and meet more parents and use the community resources that CARD connected us to.
Wow, I didn't know anything like CARD existed. I feel like there are so many things I don't know. Plus, I feel kind of bad asking for help.
Is this the correct diagnosis? Did the doctor really get a good look at my child? What is the best educational program for my child? What will happen when he becomes an adult? What about my other children?
I can remember feeling that too, but if there are services out there available, why not take advantage of them like other parents are?
Yeah, that's true. So what other help did you get from CARD?
Well, most of the time, the information is given as a series of tasks. You're given one task at a time to try with your child. Once you can complete all the tasks, you're better able to help yourself and your child. CARD also offers orientations and workshops about autism and other related disabilities. For example, I attended a whole series of classes every, Wednesday night, that dealt with behavioral issues and other matters that arise with people that fall under the autism spectrum. I was even able to get some great ideas to help Willie with his potty training. It helped to know what to expect and what therapies are available based on best practices, backed by research rather than fads or quick fixes.
Language development is very important for children with autism. Besides the workshops and orientations, your CARD coordinator can tell you about programs for children with autism to develop language skills.
That sounds so great.
It really is. But one problem I experienced with CARD is that it seems like there aren't enough staff members working there right now. Or maybe it's that they don't have enough funding to support more staff. Usually one coordinator needs to work numerous cases at the same time. I mean, my coordinator has had to deal with more and more cases in the past few years.
Once you have been connected with a coordinator and attended the monthly orientation, you can call on other parents, the support groups, and the workshops we provide. CARD does not provide therapy, advocacy, or diagnosis. We now have a small staff serving many counties in our area. CARD staff members are there to help connect you with local resources like the support groups and to help you plan next steps, develop strategies for dealing with recurring problems, and connect with local community resources. If you contact your coordinator, he or she will respond as soon as possible. But because the number of people using CARD is growing and the area we serve is so wide, you will want to consider checking our website and using email to communicate with your coordinator. These online resources will be listed in the final credits.
So what do you do to best take advantage of what CARD offers?
The most important thing is not to give up. Follow through on different strategies they provide you with. I think CARD has opened up my perspective in dealing with disability issues and helped me become a more independent person in regards to handling, say, the school system as I get Will the help he's entitled to by law. My CARD coordinator helped me understand so much. I was so tired sometimes, but she helped me realize that I had to be the biggest advocate for my child because no one else would. As he got older, there were fewer and fewer opportunities for him to be included with other kids. In the beginning, I thought we could cure him or that this would go away somehow. I've talked to other parents who also thought that at first. After the diagnosis, I began to understand that we needed to help Will develop skills early on. I had to think about the long term and preparing him while working within our family to keep us all healthy and happy. CARD helped me understand his rights and gave me the support I needed when I was ready and as I asked them for help.
You have no idea how much you've helped me. I feel so much better knowing that I'm not in this alone. I'm going to contact CARD and connect with the coordinator, attend the monthly orientation, and meet other parents. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. And good luck with everything.
The website for your local CARD contains many resources, everything from information on autism to local resources.
Jason, are you on the line? And did you want to have anything else to add on to that, Jason? I know you're muted.
Yeah, no, I apologize. I know it's not the most thrilling of videos, but hopefully it was informative enough. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put all of our updated contact information over in the chat.
Perfect.
That way you guys will have it all. I know that sometimes our connection issues aren't always the greatest here, so I figured that may be the best way to share it.
And I just want to thank you, Jason, because you were my CARD coordinator when I moved here to Brevard County 14 years ago. So he's the one that got me involved in all this crazy. So I want to thank you for that and everything that CARD does do in our area, because I know you guys have a really large community of individuals to service, but you do a great job trying to do that.
You're welcome, and thank you for joining our craziness.
Hi, I'm sorry, I just had a question. My name is Debbie from Empower Talk Therapy. Is there an age cutoff for the services that you provide?
No, we like to say birth to death, so there's no starting age, no ending age. Yeah, we work with a wide variety of ages.
Okay, great. I have some people that are encountering problems because their child with autism is aging out and resources are becoming more scarce for them.
Feel free to send them my way and we'll do the very best we can.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on to our next speaker, and we are going to have some times at the end for some questions and answers, or if you want to put stuff in the chat, and we'll get back to that too, just so we can get through everything.
Sorry.
And that's okay, you're completely fine. Like I said, I'm just glad that we're all here and we're working through this together. So there's no right or wrong, we're just working through it. All right, so, and I want to make sure that if we do have questions, that we do get answers to those questions, because we want to be able to go back to our different groups and our different individuals that we're working with to provide as much of this information and share what's going on here today. We are going to have next Nikki from 26. Nikki.
Hi there, Jackie.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you doing?
All right, I wasn't sure if you're doing a presentation or you're just going to be talking, but go ahead, it's all on you.
Waiting for a PowerPoint to come up. Aha. Okay. So my name is Nikki Matchett, and I work for 26 Resources, and I'm a vocational evaluator. And I'm here today to talk about a few of the services that we offer in Brevard County, including job placement services, on-the-job training program, virtual pre-placement training, and vocational evaluations. Next slide, please. So why select 2-6 resources? So we have a diverse team of caring individuals. We never settle for status quo. We're forward-thinking and always evolving on our service delivery model. We have a variety of local employment options. We're flexible and we adjust our programs to our clients' needs. We believe in collaboration and teamwork, and we have the drive to be successful. Next slide, please. So one of the things that sets us apart from other employment agencies is that we have a dedicated employment specialist, job developer, and job coach per client. So if, and the job coach is as needed, of course. Most of our staff have over 10 years of experience in this field, some upwards to 20 to 25 years of experience. I won't name names because that's not nice. But I wanted to just let you know that with our wealth of experience, we're able to offer skill training, and we're able to lay out a foundation for which clients can be successfully employed. Next slide, please. We're client focused. We're passionate about providing excellent services to clients and their families. We realize that this is a team effort, and our services are high quality, we're compassionate, and we're reliable. And we strive to create a caring environment where clients can be heard, supported, and encouraged. And we are the motivators, or the cheerleaders, I like to say, that clients need in order to maximize their true potential. Next slide, please. We're also solution-based. So our goal is to have successful, fulfilled clients. So if we do that, then we've done our jobs well. So we always try to think ahead, and we're creative problem solvers who think outside the box to find the best possible jobs for our clients, and also to problem solve if there are issues on the job. Next slide. So our mission is to encourage and enhance opportunities for every person willing to work, and to promote inclusion and diversity through employment. And at the bottom, there's a picture of our executive director and founder, Patrick Scott. And Patrick was also a vocational rehab counselor before he started our agency. So next slide, please. So a few highlights and stats. We recently celebrated our 15th anniversary in April. We wanted to have a big celebration, but because of the coronavirus, we had a really fun Zoom celebration. With that 15 years, we've employed over 4,000 people in competitive employment. We have 8 offices in 5 different counties in Central Florida, and we are adding 3 more counties soon. So in our local area, Brevard County, we have offices in Cocoa, which is near the Voc Rehab office in Cocoa, and we also have an office in Melbourne, which is near the mall. And both offices are on the bus line, so it's easy for clients to get to. Next slide, please. So here's just a generic map of our locations. We're in Orlando, Kissimmee, Tavares, Sanford, Winter Park, Melbourne, Cocoa, and one not included in here is Winter Garden, which we just opened up. Next slide. So a little bit about our services. Next slide. So we have a pre-placement training class. This is a 20-hour course that's available online or in person. And we were one of the first to be able to offer this class virtually. So we're very excited about that. Our curriculum was developed by teachers with over 25 years of experience as employment specialists. And the curriculum is geared towards producing well-rounded job candidates. So this is prior to the actual job development process, or sometimes in conjunction with the job development process. So our curriculum is inspiring, it's meant to be engaging, and it provides effective job readiness skills training. So some of the things that students might learn are what their strengths are, their goals, their barriers to employment. Something not on here, but I want to include is interviewing skills, which is very important for them to land a job. And they learn how to build a resume, which the employment specialist can use to help them apply for jobs in the community. Next slide, please. This looks a little blurry on my end, hopefully not on your end, but this is our June calendar for our training, for pre-placement training. We offer both weekly and weekend classes, so that that allows a little bit of flexibility for clients and families. They're typically 3 days, broken up into 3 days. And we also are doing in-class classes with a small group of people. We currently are not doing that in Brevard County, but we're doing that in other areas. So for Brevard County right now, we're doing online only. Next slide. So vocational evaluations. This is what I do. We have comprehensive vocational evaluations where we perform academic and IQ testing. We do vocational interest inventories to see what kind of jobs might be good fits for clients. We explore clients' transferable skills, and these are skills that they already possess that they can take to future employment. We explore challenges and strengths, and we take all of the information that we gather plus the testing, and we recommend vocational goals to the vocational rehab counselors. And from there, the counselors meet with the clients and develop a plan of employment. So we also have worksite evaluations, which are in-depth looks at the skills and abilities of the individuals. These are performed in the community, and we have a variety of partners in the community that allow us to come in and observe the skills in a real-world environment. Next slide, please. So job placement. This is targeted job placement based on the client's abilities and work goals. So we provide direct job placement and supported employment services. And the difference is direct job placement requires minimal or no job coaching. And with supported employment, we offer job coaching and extended follow-along services. We also provide, that's fine, keep it there. Just on a note with placement, we also provide travel training so that if individuals need to ride the bus to get to work and they are not sure how to ride the bus, we actually ride with them so that they get familiar with the bus routes they need to take. And it kind of puts them at ease with going to and from work using the bus route. The next program is the on-the-job training program. And this is time limited. It's usually between 2 weeks and 3 to 4 months. And a lot of times individuals are able to do a couple different on-the-job training opportunities and with different employers and maybe different fields of interest so that they can kind of get an idea of what job they would want. So this is a paid work skills training program, and it's based on the client's desired employment outcome. Now, It also can be that the client might not know what they want to do. So this is a good opportunity for them if they don't know what kind of job they want to do. We offer job coaching with this program, and we have over 50 local businesses in the community that are on board to provide the job skills training. Next slide, please. So that's a little bit about us. If you want to learn more information, you can reach out to me, and I can provide my information in the chat. And also you can check us out online at www.26resources.org, or you can check us out on social media. Everybody loves that. Hope that you are interested in learning more about our services, and thank you for the opportunity to present today.
Thank you so much, Nikki. I appreciate that. All right,
Thank
we are
you.
going to be moving on next to Alvaro from Agency for Persons with Disabilities. Alvaro, are you available? Are you on mic? On mute?
Yes, how are you, Jackie?
Hello, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us today.
No, a pleasure. So, yeah, I'm just waiting for the PowerPoint. In the meantime, my name is Alvaro Quintero. I'm a support employment liaison. I'm from APD, the Agency for Persons with Disability from the state of Florida. And that's my role in the agency, but I've been working for the agency for almost 4 years. In the past, I worked in the waitlist department. So what I'm gonna do today is just give a little bit of overview of what we do in the agency. So, and I'll leave my contact information and the agency contact information. I will leave that in the chat, just in case you have any other questions. And even if you have any idea of what we do, or you don't have any idea, the best way to contact us is with over the phone, okay? So yeah, just waiting for the PowerPoint. Okay, perfect. So you can go to the next one. That's that's the general number, but I will put it at the end, okay? So the Agency for Persons with Disabilities the mission is to support persons with developmental disabilities in living, learning, and working in their communities. Can you go to the next one? We provide services to people with several disabilities, autism, intellectual disabilities, spina bifida, Prader-Willi syndrome, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, Phelan-McDermott syndrome, and children in high risk between the ages of 3 to 5. We currently serve more than 53,000 Floridians with developmental disabilities. More than 33,000 are in the waiver that we also call iBudget, and more than 20,000 are on the wait list. Go to the next one. A common question is, what is iBudget? iBudget is basically the amount of money that we allocate to each client, right? And that budget is coordinated with the support coordinator, and together with the family, you will choose what provider you will get to your family member, and then you will coordinate everything with the support coordinator. So it sounds complicated, but it's just the amount of money that you will get to get the services that your family members need. Can go to the next one. We provide 26 services, so that's a long list, but in general, we have all types of behavior analysis, behavioral assistance, we have companion services, support employment, ADT, we have personal support, supported living, all types of things, right? All those services are home-based. So we don't provide anything in a specific location. We try to provide everything home-based services, okay? The next step is a very common question. How do you apply? The best way is just giving us a call to that number, 407-245-0440. You will be transferred to one of our intake specialists. With that person, you will be just talking for a few minutes, and we will send you an application, right? And with the application, you will need to get us back a copy of your birth certificate, copy of your social, proof of Florida residence, and also diagnosis documentation. And this is key. The diagnosis has to be before the age of 18, okay? You send us all that together, and then go to the next page, please, right? Once the application is reviewed, we will let you know if everything is correct, or if anything is missing, we will let you know as well. Once that happens, everybody will be placed in a wait list. If the person is not approved, you will be receiving a letter just letting you know why what is not approved, okay? Now, the next phase is also very common question is what happens when you are in a wait list? Unfortunately, right now, the only way to be moving from the wait list to the waiver, which is the part of our agency that actually provide the services, is through a process that we call crisis review, right? So once you become accepted into the wait list, you stay in the wait list, and then the only way, like I say, is to be in a crisis. But for that, we need to evaluate in what condition the client and specifically the family currently are, right? So for example, if the client is about to become homeless, that's considered a crisis. Second, if the client is becoming a danger to themselves or others, that's another crisis category. And third, if the caregiver or caregivers are in extreme duress and can no longer provide for the client's health and safety, that's also a crisis. And that could be, for example, for health issues, or could be because of work-related issues, or also could be the age of the caregiver, or a combination of those things. So basically, we're gonna ask you to provide documentation that proves one of those things, right? To see if your situation has enough merits to move the case from the waitlist to the waiver, okay? And a few other notes before the questions is the APD Medicaid waiver is tied to Medicaid. Therefore, we are bound to Medicaid eligibility. So at the time that you're gonna be placed into the waiver, we're still gonna need the person to be eligible to Medicaid. Second, the time a client stays in a wait list is not based on time in it. It depends on the current situation of the family. Therefore, the crisis process is the way that we evaluate the current situation. And I put that in the presentation because we always receive calls asking us, and my son or my daughter has been in the wait list for 14 years, right? And nothing has happened. And we have to tell you that it's because of the situation. It's not because of the time that you are in the wait list. So it's important that you keep communication with us. You let us know of anything that is happening in your family. So keep us updating about your situation. Most of the services that we offer are provided in the first place by Medicaid until the person ages out of the age of 21. So just make sure that you request those services from Medicaid because they're not going to offer those. Okay. And finally, try to make sure that to request the service from vocational rehab and the school system because they also have transitional services and other kind of things that you can use. Finally, please give us a call to that number. I'm going to put my information on the chat. If you have any questions, give us a call. I'm going to put my email. Feel free to contact me at any time. Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We are now going to move on to Debbie from Empower Talk Therapy. And Debbie, are you unmuted as of yet?
Yes, I am unmuted.
Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, we can hear you great.
Okay, thank you. I actually do not have slides. So it's the video that was sent in. And then if there were any questions.
We're working on it, Debbie.
Okay. I specialize in. Hi, my name is Debbie Tasso. I am a clinical social worker and mental health professional at ACF Therapy Associates in Melbourne, Florida. And I would just like to introduce myself. I graduated from UCF with my master's in social work, and I have worked in Philadelphia, Trenton, New Jersey, and in Florida. I am a Brevard County resident, and I'm familiar with the resources that are in this community. I specialize in addictions, depression and anxiety, major life transitions, TBI, traumatic brain injury support, and also disability-related mental health issues for those that are disabled and their families and caretakers. Because the truth is, when somebody becomes disabled, when their role within the family unit changes, the roles of the other people in that family has to change as well to adapt. And not everybody is being addressed when it comes to what the caretakers may be feeling and what needs they have. And also for the disabled person, for them to lose their identity, if they identified with their job. And a good example would be a police officer who was hurt in the line of duty. Always wanted to be a police officer, and that's gone because of an injury in the line of duty. They can no longer be a police officer. That is a devastating hit for that person. It's affecting him or her and the rest of the family. And you know, disability is not the end of the world. It's actually just another door that you can open to thrive in. It's not about just surviving. You'll get to a point where you can thrive. And that is truly adapting to every situation. The approach that we utilize is CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and solution focused. Reason why that is utilized is because it tends to be the most effective, and it does the least amount of trauma to the client. When most people think of therapy, they think about monk or you're laying on a couch while somebody is just listening to you talk. And that's psychotherapy. That is actually not commonly used anymore. Everything has a purpose and a reason. So one of the things that my approach is based on is the 90-10 approach. Your quality of life is 90% is you, 10% has nothing to do with you and you have no control over it. And the 10% would be, and this, a good example would be the coronavirus. That we can't stop the fact that it's out there. It's out there. But that's 10% of the quality of our life is what we cannot control. The 90% that makes up whether we will have a good life is how you choose to cope and react to that 10%. And that 10% includes other people too. You cannot, if you keep attempting to change or control other people, you're going to end up getting very frustrated because the only person you could truly have control over is yourself. And that is what is on this blue board here. I'm just going to go over it real quick. This is the intro to cognitive behavioral therapy. A, let me put this backwards. A is an event or situation. In this case, the coronavirus. B, your thoughts, your attitudes, your beliefs. These are things that you think in your head that you may not even realize. But that leads to C, how you feel, how you behave, and your actions. If you have a very negative outlook on things, you will look at A and end up most likely with a negative situation, negative feelings if you have negative thoughts. So a lot of cognitive behavioral therapies focus on B, because B is within your control, and it's the gatekeeper to C, your feelings and behaviors. By the time people end up in therapy, they are experiencing C. Depression, they're having problems with conflict. So what ends up happening is we go back to look at, well, let's see what A, the situation is, and let's look at how you're looking at it, what your perspective is on things, how you're perceiving A. And that's going to dictate the quality of your life, which is down here. A is your 10%, which is beyond your control. B is 90%, how you choose to react or cope with the A, 10%. And the C is how you end up feeling and behaving as a result. So that's something to think about. A does not lead to C. A leads to B and is filtered through B to make C. And if you're feeling depressed, I can't force you to stop feeling depressed without addressing B. That's the basics of cognitive behavioral therapy right there. Once again, I am here to give tips for relationships, for families, for people who are becoming depressed because of the social isolation. Social isolation is not something that human beings are meant for, or we're not accustomed to it. There are very few people who truly enjoy being alone, and that's fine. That's fine with them, but the majority of the population needs human contact. And to socially distance, it's been hard on a lot of people, and there are tips to getting yourself out of that rut, and that's why I'm here. I want to go ahead and help people and help assist them in acclimating back to our new normal, because, you know, this is something that we've never come across, and at least not in my lifetime, and I know this has been very difficult for everybody, and it does take mindfulness to be aware of how you feel, be able to acknowledge it. That's going to be the first step, and being honest with yourself, and you need help, it's okay to reach out for that. Once again, my name is Debbie Tasso. I am a therapist, clinical social worker, and you do not need insurance. I work with a lot of people, and I do not, I believe that people should be able to access mental health care. So I work with a lot of people who may have some financial difficulties. If you have insurance, always meet the deductible of your insurance. If you have any questions, we are starting this as a provider introduction. If you have any questions, concerns, you are more than welcome to go ahead and contact me at Debbie@empowertalktherapy.com. That's DEBBIE EMPOWERTALKTHERAPY.com. Thank you so much, and remember to just stay positive and make sure that you are going outside every day. You don't have to be around other people. You just need to go outside. That'll help prevent the rut of not being able to leave your house because it's been so long. So just doing 15 minutes a day of walking outside, walking with your spouse or walking by yourself, listening to music, but to do something outside of the house so it does not become your new normal. And thank you very much, and I look forward to meeting the rest of you soon. Thank you. Bye. Thank you, everybody. That was very painfully long to sit with.
My name is Amy Van Bergen, and I'm with the...
Oh, okay. I'll go ahead and put my contact information in the chat box. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Debbie. You're fine.
Okay. And I'll put my information in there. Basically, it's based on a sliding scale, and we use solution-focused and cognitive behavioral therapies, and we go through basically with the major life transitions, helping not just the people who have the disability, but also their caretakers and family members, and also general mental health as well. And we're located in Melbourne, Florida. So,
Thank you, Debbie. Thanks so much. I appreciate all of that information. And I know we said we had a question and answer period on our calendar, but we're going to keep going because we are running a little bit behind. And we're going to go ahead and move on right now to Amy. Amy, and I know there's a slide presentation for you, and that is Down Syndrome Association. Is that correct, Amy?
Correct. Down Syndrome Association of Brevard, and I believe Diana's going to pull up the video.
Oh, good afternoon. My name is Amy Van Bergen, and I'm with the Down Syndrome Association of Brevard, and we are delighted to be part of this showcase today. So we are really looking forward to supporting and seeing everyone at the START conference in the fall. But in the meantime, we wanted to let you know some of the programs and offerings that we have available to you and your family, particularly this summer. So just so I'm not distracting myself or you, I'm going to go ahead and turn off my camera so that you can focus on the screen of what we have to offer. So let's get started. And of course, I couldn't do this without a picture of a cute baby, right? Because there are never enough adorable babies, puppies, kittens, and rainbows, especially in this virtual world we've all been living in recently. So the Down Syndrome Association of Brevard has been around in the community for many years. Some of you may know us by our old name, FEDS, or Families Exploring Down Syndrome. So if you get that confused or mixed up, you can see in the t-shirt here was a FEDS t-shirt. We are one in the same, but regardless of name, we have been around in this community since the early 2000s. So here you can see what our mission is. It's really about respecting, including, supporting, and educating. And related to that, of course, is our mission that focuses on all of those aspects, and the acronym RISE for Respect, Inclusion, Support, and Education, because we want all of our students and children with Down syndrome to be able to rise to their full potential at every stage of their life. A little bit more about us so you know who our leadership team is here. There on the left-hand side of your screen is Jay Freeland, our treasurer, Sarah Lalou, our Buddy Walk co-chair this year. Victoria Timberlake is in the middle of the screen, our board president. Shannon Dowdle, our vice president and communications chair. And I'm in the right-hand corner there. I am the acting interim executive director, and I do have an adult son with Down syndrome pictured there with me. Also not pictured in our leadership team that you may know on our board of directors is Jimmy Rudolph, Tracy Kiernan, and Emily DeWoody. Some of you may know Emily from the Family Liaison Project, and if you don't already know her or the project, please make sure you check them out during the showcase. They are a valuable, valuable resource. So here's a little bit of some of what we offer and some of what we do. So like many of you, we're waiting to determine if we're going to offer any summer in-person programs, largely because we recognize that individuals with Down syndrome are considered high-risk patients if they develop COVID-19, mainly due to underlying medical issues. So we certainly have offered and will again in the future some mom's night out, dad's night out, some social skills classes, teen talks for teenagers to help with those pre-employment skills. And again, on the screen, you can see just sort of a general overview of what we offer. We've offered some emergency funds. We've offered over the years lots of money and assistance for therapies or summer camps. We do a lot for brand new and expectant babies with Down syndrome. And that's a big focus of ours in the next 2 years. But again, we will be offering more in terms of some other programs. One of the things I was doing in prepping for sharing these information is one of the things that we've offered even during this virtual time is we've hosted more than 28 classes during this time that have included virtual classes in yoga, music and movement, boxing, cooking, and Spanish language music class. That's in addition to 7 different online workshops we've offered where we've hosted more than 350 registrants. And those have been on topics like potty training, on how to get the most out of teletherapy. So again, just because you don't see it on the screen doesn't mean we're not trying to creatively offer it. So the main message I want you to take away from this today is that we're here to help. If you don't see a program or offering that you need for your loved one, please let us know, and we are happy to connect those dots here in Brevard County, whether it's partnering with another organization. But if we don't have it and we can't find it, please talk to us and we will create it. So again, back to that acronym about respecting and including and supporting and educating. Let's all rise together. I think everybody's done a great job during this time, and thanks to everybody hosting this showcase of services, but mainly, thank you to you for advocating on behalf of yourself or on behalf of your son or daughter with Down syndrome. Before I close out, I just want to leave up on the screen here all the different ways that you can connect with us, whatever way you are most comfortable. If you want to email us, call us, visit our website. We have a contact form there. We're also on social media. Instagram and Facebook are probably our most active forms. But again, we would love to hear from you. And if you didn't see a resource or offering that we can provide to you and your family, please don't hesitate to let us know that. And again, thanks to everybody and the organizers for this showcase of services. And I hope you found this helpful, and let us know how we can help. Thanks so much again.
Amy, thank you for all of your input and helping us pull all this insanity together. because without wonderful people like you, we wouldn't get all this wonderful work done. So I want to say thank you very much, and to everyone else that has done this. Next, we are going to have Jody from Community Legal Services.
It'll actually be Annie from.
Oh, sorry, Annie. Hi, Annie.
Okay. I'm filling in for Jody.
That's fine. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Give us just a second, Annie, as we get that ready for you.
Thank you.
And Annie, if you have anything that you want to share in the meantime, feel free to talk freely with us if you'd like to.
I mean, I'll just go ahead and introduce myself then while we're waiting. I'm an attorney with Community Legal Services of Mid-Florida. I work specifically for the Children's Rights Unit, and we'll get into that as soon as the slides are up. I'll also tell you that Community Legal Services of Mid-Florida, we are a nonprofit legal aid organization, meaning that we provide free legal assistance to clients who qualify. So generally you qualify based on income.
Diane, this is Amy. Do you want me to try to pull up the PowerPoint on my screen if you're having difficulty?
Oh, there we go. Just let me know when it's ready.
I think we're ready for you. Go ahead and just let us know when you want us to move the slides forward.
All right, you can go ahead and move to the next slide, please. Thank you. So kind of like I said, we're a nonprofit law firm striving to remove barriers to justice by empowering vulnerable communities through legal advocacy and education. That's a lot of words. Again, what we do is we provide free legal assistance to those who qualify, and we do represent people in a multitude of areas, which we will get into later in the presentation. Next slide, please. So we cover 12 counties across Central Florida, and I will go through those counties as well. Next slide, please. So, okay, so like I said, I'm with the Children's Rights Unit. So we are one of the legal units at Community Legal Services of Mid-Florida. What the Children's Rights Unit does is we represent parents with children who struggle in school, home, and the community, including those with disabilities who have been denied a free and appropriate public education. So those children do have a right legally, all children, to a free and appropriate public education per both federal and state law. So when a disagreement with a school arises about what is a free and appropriate public education for a child, usually it can be worked out easily. But those times when it cannot be worked out, sometimes a parent will require an experienced advocate, and that's when we come in. And I do want to point out, especially right now during these unprecedented times when parents are, struggling to educate their children at home, we have seen, that there has been a huge difference, especially for those children with disabilities, in what supports and services they're getting virtually, or what they're even able to access virtually, right? So, they will have a right, they may have a right in the fall to, get some of those services back if they didn't get it during this time, or if they have, regression, if they're falling further and further behind. So if you do need help with that, our number will be up here. You can always give us a call and see if you qualify for our assistance. And, we also provide advice to parents and children about their legal rights. A lot of times, something I see is parents simply just don't know what they have a right to and what they don't. And, they don't know necessarily what they have to do in order to trigger those rights. So we will assist parents with obtaining needed educational services and testing. We'll mediate disputes, and if necessary, we will litigate the issues. Next slide, please. So there's a bunch of red flags if your child hasn't already, been identified as a student with a disability, if they don't already have an IEP or 504 plan. And these are just a few of the red flags. So have they been suspended or expelled, especially those children who have been suspended or expelled multiple times or have multiple referrals? Have they been restrained in school? Have they been bullied? Have they been diagnosed with a disability? Have they failed state tests? Did they fail that third grade FSA? Were they retained? Have they been retained multiple times? Do they have behavior problems at school? Do they have any mental health or medical issues? That should say ADHD, HIV or AIDS, mood disorders, any other chronic health disorders, ODD. Do they have problems with vision or hearing? And, these are multiple reasons why either, a child may be in need of exceptional student education, or, that maybe their IEP needs to be looked at, or their 504 plan needs to be looked at to make sure they're getting, what they need to succeed in school. Next slide, please. So some services that your child may need that we often help parents navigate or obtain. So educational evaluations, behavior support, speech language therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy, counseling, specialized transportation, assistive technology, vocational training, tutoring, special services and accommodations, pre-kindergarten services.
Special needs services for the children, FYI.
I'm sorry. Excuse me? Okay. And these are all things that, the school can provide if your child needs it. So you can always call CLSMF, the Children's Rights Unit. We have a number directly to our intake line. It's 386-361-5254. And again, CLSMF provides many other legal services, and we have a helpline that you can call, which is 1-800-405-1417. Next slide, please. So here's a list of some of the other services that CLSMF provides. We have consumer law, which involves sales contracts, credit issues, repossession, harassment by creditors, bankruptcy, and wage garnishment. We have family law, which can involve domestic violence, divorce, custody, child support, visitation, housing, landlord-tenant issues, housing code violations, repair contracts, foreclosures. We have fair housing, which they promote equal opportunity in housing for all persons through education, investigation, and enforcement. We have our public benefits unit. They provide cash assistance, Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, unemployment compensation, and food stamps. Veterans' rights. They can give legal help with VA disability claims, rating reductions, discharge upgrades, and other civil legal matters. We have economic development. They provide legal assistance to small businesses serving low to moderate income communities, nonprofits engaged in community development, and nonprofit affordable housing developers. And then we have HUD, approved housing counseling. So they help with foreclosure prevention, credit and budget, and rental counseling. Next slide, please. So we also do legal advice clinics and workshops at CLSMF. So during our clinics, clients meet one-to-one with an attorney to receive no-cost legal advice and assistance specific to their case. Workshops are conducted in group settings where individuals receive guidance on the completion of necessary documents and other forms so they can represent themselves. That's called pro se. We also rely on a large network of private attorneys who provide their services to our clients free of charge. That's called pro bono. Next slide, please. So something really great that CLSMF has is our helpline. It's all attorney staffed, meaning when you call our helpline number, an attorney will pick up the phone, and if you qualify, they provide advice, brief services, assistance with pro se matters, and we have a referral system serving low income and older people throughout Central Florida. So eligible individuals will receive immediate legal advice and brief services. And ineligible callers, even if you call and you're ineligible based on income, you will be offered private bar and social service contact information. And our helpline serves eligible citizens. And here's the 12 counties I was talking about in Brevard, Citrus, Flagler, Hernando, Lake, Marion, Orange, Osceola, Putnam, Seminole, Sumter, and Volusia. Our helpline hours are Monday and Thursday, 8:30 to 4:30. Tuesday and Wednesday, they're open until 6:30, and Friday, 8:30 to 3:30. Again, that number is 1-800-405-1417. If you do have any school-related issues, though, you can give us a call at 386-361-5254. Next slide, please. And there's our website. Our website also has a great deal of information for each legal service area. So, you know, there's some quick questions that can be answered, and it can help you determine if you do need any, you know, legal assistance or how to move forward with your case. Next slide, please. This is just, we're a trusted law firm and leader in serving the needs of our community through powerful representation, partnerships, and innovation. Next slide. These are some of our areas of service. If you go to our website, you'll see there's multiple other blocks that you can click on, and then there will be, you know, common issues in that area of law that you can get more information on. Next slide, please. And you guys can always revisit this, and this has our helpline number again. I think I gave it to you enough, and then our chat hours as well. And I believe that is it. Next slide. Yep. And I want to say, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat box. And thank you for having us with CLSMF to present.
Annie, thank you so much. I really appreciate all that information. Next, we're going to have Courtney from the Music Intervention Center.
Oh, ha!
Hi, Courtney.
I have a fun background. You can tell I've been doing school this week with my kiddos at home.
You got your green tablecloth, didn't you?
I did. Look at that. To be honest, to be fair, I have no idea how to turn that. There we go. Hi, everybody. There we go. Nice and normal again. My name is Courtney. That was a very dramatic entrance. I am a board-certified music therapist with the Music Intervention Center. We call ourselves the Mic. And I believe we have a video. There it is.
We get to see the impossible happen. We love, at the Mic, we get to see the impossible happen. We love music therapy, and we love the effect that it has on our clients. We get to see people sing when they cannot talk or dance before they can walk. We get to see those first words and those first steps. We get to see those first days of school after trauma and PTSD and anxiety has left someone homebound. We get to see patients who cannot remember the name of their spouse sing every word to the song that they danced to at their wedding. We get to see life. and the quality of life exceed every expectation.
The reach that we can have through music therapy goes from newborns all the way to the elderly, so it can really impact anyone at any age. And what we've seen working with children, you can work with children in the hospital setting or in the school setting. And in the school setting, you can use music to help kids achieve their IEP goals, their individualized education plan goals. Maybe they're not making progress without music, but music could be the thing that can help them. Maybe they're really motivated by music, and that can help them achieve those social and academic goals that are on their IEP.
David was my second child, and so I knew in terms of just charting the milestones that a kiddo would be on. We were not on the milestones. I saw that he was very responsive to music, and when I first had the opportunity to take him to preschool, that was where I had a chance to meet this wonderful, amazing woman named Courtney, who was his music therapist. I had heard a little bit about music therapy, but it was still kind of vague and I didn't get it until I really saw what that looked like. You have the IEP, all these different goals, and it's a stack of paper about this thick, so it's very, like overwhelming. All the other therapists, clinicians, teachers, they're weighing in on what's best for my child. I'm identifying with the music therapist in the room because she is saying exactly what I use at home that mirrors, this is what really works. Like, I got that you have all this knowledge and education, and that sounds great on paper, but what she said, to see my son be able to achieve goals that otherwise I didn't know how he was going to achieve them. It means the world to me to be able to watch his development, both the capacity to increase his speech, using it to support seeing the kind of behaviors that we want to see. I don't feel like there's anything that my son can't do because at least I have the tools and the resource to get there.
Every area of functioning has a different place in the brain, very specific place. We have expressive language and receptive language, our motor coordination, emotional regulation, all of our sensory input has a very specific place. But the amazing part about music is that it's wired throughout the whole brain, both hemispheres, which means that music therapy is so much more than fun or entertainment. It's purposeful. And when, for some reason, an area of functioning isn't working, whether it's because of autism or developmental disabilities or trauma, we have a direct line to every area of functioning. It's an honor to bring music to the impossible and see miraculous things happen, and that's what we want to do. If you have something impossible in your life, we would love to see what music can do for you.
Hear me though. There we are. My name is Courtney Arndt. I'm a board certified music therapist. I've been practicing for 12 years now, but we just celebrated our 1 year in Brevard. I started my practice in St. Louis, and a little while ago moved the Music Intervention Center to Brevard County. So we have a studio just very close to downtown Melbourne, which has put our medical music therapy and hospital experience to good use because we have increased sanitation to hospital standards. So we are still doing in studio music therapy with as safely as possible. And we've also started virtual therapy through telehealth. We even have a collection of instruments that can be sanitized and sent home to get the most out of virtual therapy if that's appropriate. And let's talk about funding sources. When we moved down, I actually came down a year beforehand to get some footing because we believe very strongly that anyone who can benefit from music therapy should benefit from music therapy. So it came down to get some footwork. So we are Gardner providers. We're an approved service with HSA and the McKay Scholarship. We're direct providers with CMS and WellCare and Staywell. And we can even work with private insurance companies like Cigna and Blue Cross. we would love to hear from you. To hear about, you know, who you think music therapy would be appropriate for and your connection with music and everything. Our practice sees kiddos as little as 6 months all the way to 96 years with a variety of diagnoses and needs, from everything from mental wellness to medical desensitization and access to medical care to educational or social goals. So I will put up our contact information in the comments, but we are the Music Intervention Center. We call ourselves the Mike for short, and you can find us at mikeflorida.com, Mike Florida, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, anything like that, or info@mikeflorida.com. But thank you so much for your time and hearing us out, and this has been a really great showcase of service. As a new provider to Brevard, it's really wonderful to hear everything that's been going on. So I appreciate all of your time. Thanks so much.
Brittany, thank you so much. And I had the privilege of actually having you work with my son, both in private sessions and now virtually. And I can honestly say it's amazing. And my son is primarily nonverbal, but it's one of his favorite sessions that he does. So they do an amazing job with the kids. And I want to thank you so much for being here in Brevard County and being part of our crazy collective. We are now going to move on to Mary from SOAK. Mary, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Hey, Mary.
Well, this is Art first.
Sorry, I lied. I lied to you guys. I meant that is actually going to be, you're next, Mary. You're right after her. This is going to be Abby from
the University of North Florida. Our program allows students to audit 2 UNF courses, participate in on-campus and off-campus internships and employment opportunities. We also have one-on-one tutoring in academic advising, financial literacy, work readiness, and health and wellness for an hour each week for each of our students. They also get hands-on social mentoring from other matriculating UNF students. One of the great benefits of our program is we do have a residential component. Students live on campus at one of the UNF residence halls, or they have the option of living off campus at a nearby apartment complex, which provides complimentary shuttle service to and from campus. The other good thing about that housing location in particular is we do 2 bus stops connected by the Jacksonville Transit Authority, which allows students to stay longer after school once the shuttle stops running so they can participate in campus life. We ask that all students join 2 clubs or organizations and participate in those clubs each semester. Most of our students do participate in Best Buddies, but we also try to encourage them to participate in religious, cultural, athletic, and general interest groups to help them become the best versions of themselves. Our program does not have IEPs, but we do have something called the Plan of Study. The Plan of Study is where students meet with our program coordinator and talk about what their goals are for their employment future, their independent living skills, and whatever they want to work on while they're with us. That way we can create their individualized education plan so that way they get the experience that's meant for them. Social mentors may work out with your students at the gym, they may go have lunch with them, they may work with your students on being more assured in themselves. Some of the internship sites we have on campus include the preschool, the radio show, the gardens, various academic offices on campus, the cafe, Slice, the library, the golf complex. All of these internship sites allow students to focus on goals that they want to carry to their future employment. That way they can have the best resume possible and get gainful employment after they graduate. We ask the prospective students to defer their diplomas so that way they can access the McKay funding under the IDEA funding that allows students to continue their education until they turn 22 if they have a difference. If you get your diploma or you're from outside of Florida, you won't be able to get this funding. If you'd like more information about our program, please feel free to visit arcjacksonville.org, arcjacksonville.org, and click on the college program. We are also available by phone. The best contact number is 904-620-3890. And if you would like any of our information emailed to you, please request it at ACHEESEMAN@arcjacksonville.org. Thank you and have a nice day.
And Abby, we're going to have you speak. Did you have anything else you wanted to add on, Abby?
Hi, everybody.
It's nice to see all of you today. I appreciate you letting me come to talk to all of you. I think one of the best things about our program in particular is that we're very student driven, because our philosophy is that our students are going to learn best from people their own age. So staff wise, we have 5 people. We have myself, we have our program coordinator, we have a residential coordinator, our director, and a dedicated employment specialist. But the rest of our staff that work with the students are all matriculating UNF students. So they're really learning from their same-aged peers, which we have found lets them remember the information better. Yeah, it's pretty fun. We are open to anyone 18 plus, but we usually try to keep it to the same college-age peers. And we also have a summer program that was canceled this year, but it's like an independent living skill boot camp that lasts 4 weeks up here. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Abby, thank you so much. You know, not for anything, guys, this new virtual world that we're having to live in coronavirus is allowing us actually to get providers bringing services to our area that we may not have been able to have before. So I'm really glad to hear about this. Now we're going to have Mary from SOAK. All right, Mary, this time it's you.
It really is me. Well, I'll let you watch the video first and go ahead and play it, please, Dan.
Well, first I just thought,
Doing some new things with SOAK, Mary?
I guess. Secretly, that's what we've been working on. Yep.
Well, while she's trying to pull that up, you want to give a little background beforehand?
Well, I mean, the video pretty much sums us up, but we are, SOAK is short for Supporting Our ASD Kids, a nonprofit organization here in Brevard County and beyond. We love to partner with all the other agencies and organizations and businesses, primarily to give all these resources and to their families. But if you want to go ahead and start the video, it's kind of self-explanatory.
ASD Kids, Inc., or SOAK, is a nonprofit organization whose purpose is to help those diagnosed with autism spectrum disorders and related disabilities and their families. SOAK began as a support group in September 2011, and in September 2015, we became a nonprofit organization. Our all-volunteer board is comprised of parents and professionals with a passion for making a difference in the community. SOAK provides resources and direct support to enable families to connect and assist each other through our varying programs. We collaborate with different agencies, groups, and individuals to present workshops, trainings, community events, conferences, social events, support groups, and also further the education of families, professionals, and members of the community in order to embrace the autistic population. We hope to resume our series this fall in partnership with UCF Center for Autism and Related Disabilities, hosting an evening workshop once per month, and resume our Lunch and Learn series in partnership with Brevard Public Schools Autism Support Resource Specialists, also once per month. Hopefully, our support groups and social gatherings for families will also return. Please stay tuned for further updates. If you are searching for information or resources, please reach out to us. Our website is www.soakautism.com. There you can also find our contact information and our social media forums in both English and Spanish. We would like to unite families, their friends, professionals, and become a team in the community, promoting autism awareness and acceptance. Please reach out to us anytime. You are not alone, and together we can make a difference.
All right, that's pretty much it. But once again, we are not
Okay,
trying to.
what packet number did you leave off with? Question mark.
What was that? Oh, somebody's unmuted there. Once again, we just like to share all the events, all the workshops, trainings, other organizations out there. It's not solely, it is an autism support group, but if someone's looking for information, we'd be happy to send them in the right direction. We might not have all the answers, but we know a lot of wonderful people who have the answers you're looking for. And we just love working with everyone else. So not reinventing the wheel is important. Even though we may not have the time or date available for you, we know someone who does. And that's it.
Thank you, Mary. I appreciate it. And as always, you're always a great community partner to work with. We are actually going to open up for questions and answers, but before I let us do that, I just want you guys to know that tomorrow we actually are going to continue our showcase, and we are going to have Bridges tomorrow, Parent Support Network, Able United, Agency for Life Transformations, Great Life Unlimited, and Best Buddies. And then on Friday, we're going to have more of a community roundtable discussion. So if you have ideas, suggestions, other information, or someone that couldn't get on today, definitely join us for Friday as well. So again, hopefully this has been helpful to you guys. So now we're going to open it up for any questions or anything that anyone wants to ask about or interject with.
Yeah, and we actually don't have any questions on the chat, so please open up any questions right here.
And I know we've got quite a few parents that are on, and I can see quite a few of you guys out there. Hopefully this has been helpful to you. I know that this is such a difficult time period. A lot of questions I've been getting from parents have to do with what summer programs are there going to be. We know that Parks and Rec are not having summer programs. There are a lot of our summer programs that aren't open. But like I said, I've used, because of the situation we're in, I'm doing virtual speech therapy. I'm doing the virtual music therapy with the mic. So there are some options for parents out there to come up with some different ideas. And like I said, we've got Codecraft that has their summer virtual program that's going on. And as we find more information about other virtual programs or things that are available to our kids, I'll definitely be sharing that with whomever. So if you guys decide you'd like to get more information from us, make sure you put your email address in the chat so we can keep you up to date on anything else that's going on as we're coming up with other suggestions and solutions to this new era that we live in.
Well, this is Amy, and I don't have a question, but I just want to give a shout out to Diane Dixon, who has sort of pretty much single-handedly put this all together in under a week. And I'm sure you all saw and we all dealt with some of the challenges of the hybrid going live to video to PowerPoints, etc. But thanks for everybody's patience. But really, kudos to you, Diane. Thank you for coordinating this.
Well, I'm glad that you opened the door on that topic, Amy, because I have to set the record straight. And so what I think that you guys saw today was a demonstration of what we've come to refer to ourselves as the small but mighty committee. And we formed just a little over a week ago, and we really wanted to put something out to the community before summer break. And Amy, humble though she is, has an amazing skill set. And not only that, she is such a level-headed person. There's been a lot going on behind the scenes. We've been texting, we've been chatting, we've been freaking out, but I just really need to call everyone out a little bit here because these are your resources. This is your community. And it's not just the information that we're bringing to you, but what I hope that you walk away with is a sense of the intention that went behind what we're trying to reach out to you with. It's not just services and information, but really, I think more than that, what it is that sense that we're all in this together, and that, you know, we pray for you guys every day, and we miss working with your young people. And so part of what it is, I think, is our desire to just come together as a community and acknowledge what an opportunity that we have to demonstrate to our youth that this is resilience, this is adaptability, this is community collaboration, and there are elements that they will learn, that they are learning through this period of time that I think goes above and beyond, you know, and that's not to say that the therapies aren't important. Of course they are, they're critical. But at the same time, we can look at what our opportunity is to model these behaviors and these choices that we're making. And so we also have behind the scenes the ladies from Bridges. We have Melissa Wilbrandt and her sidekick Kelly was in on the meetings. And we also have my partner Teresa Barrett, who doesn't seem to be visible, but she's been also behind the scenes. And we've had.
So I need to go too.
Who else is on the committee? Jackie Yerby, who really stepped into this with very short notice and just graciously did what needed to be done. Marianne Sampieri from Brevard Achievement Center, Vicki Matchett from 2-6 Resources. These are all people who have their normal day-to-day, and on top of that, jumped in and with no hesitation, were totally willing to work on this. And I apologize for all the glitches. And this was really my very, very first time sitting in this seat. And it looks so easy when you're a participant, but it's really not. It's really not. It's kind of all of a sudden, every technical thing that you've never seen before is happening on your screen. And where did that go? And what happened there? So it's very nerve-wracking. But I encourage everyone to try it, because it's been like, this has all been a bonding experience. And I think that honestly, everything we're going through as a community right now, there's just this sense that we're all on the Titanic together, but we're going to have a much better outcome than the Titanic did, right? And that being said, right? We still have a little bit of time, so I hope that me babbling on for a minute there may have helped some people to think of if they wanted to ask a question or even just share what's coming up for you right now. Now's the time to do it, and you can come back tomorrow and Friday, and there'll be more sharing that will take place, and hopefully tomorrow will go even smoother.
I have to agree with Diane. These have truly been like therapy sessions, coming together. And like I said, I love this community because of the fact that I know that when we call on our community partners, they step up. They do, because they care so much about this community. And I think that that's what makes Brevard County very special. And I'm glad to be part of this. And I'm always willing to go above and beyond, because I truly care about my community partners and the families. And like I said, I think if we keep utilizing this time period as not necessarily a deficit, but something that we can kind of embrace and say, you know what? We have just found a new way of bringing families and people together. Because in our community, unfortunately, our special needs individuals are very much isolated a lot of the time. So, this is a time period where we're kind of pulling people together, and hopefully this will continue to be the new trend so that people don't have to feel isolated. So we found new ways and new avenues of pulling each other together and uplifting each other. So hopefully we continue doing that.
Awesome. Thank you, Jackie. Thanks for sharing that. We really do have a little open mic time. We have about 5-7 minutes left. If anybody wanted to add, please unmute yourself and feel free.
Oh, I'll add something. One of the populations that I worked with, or I'm working with, is those who have TBI and their families, traumatic brain injury. That's been identified as a disability that is not very much understood. They do have one support group in South Brevard, but if you know anybody who is struggling, or a family member who is struggling, and they do not have somebody to talk to, you're more than welcome to refer them. One of the things that we do is we look at the system as a whole, as far as, not just mental health, but also emotional and physical and nutrition, as all those play a role in your well-being. A lot of times when you go to a mental health facility, they'll tell you in your aftercare to follow up with a proper diet and work out, but there's nobody to actually guide you through that process. And one of the things that we're doing at Empower is offering that resource so they can actually start doing that and implement that in part of their treatment so they can get the full, well-rounded effects. Because a lot of people don't know that what they're putting in their body is affecting their mood and also affects whether the medication is working.
So if we have a family member who might qualify with a traumatic brain injury, should we just use the contact information that you previously supplied us with? Is that the best?
Yes, the email or the phone number, but I don't recommend putting any information that is confidential.
Right.
In that.
Of course.
And I will have a website up next month that will have more information.
That's great information, Debbie. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's so timely, too, with everything that we have going on. We had some great presenters, and I want to acknowledge that the presenters also didn't have a lot of lead time for this, and we were asking what seemed like a lot. We were asking for a video. Our preference was for video, and but we tried to rise to the occasion and sort of switch back and forth with the PowerPoints. But I just think that this community is just so willing to come together and lift each other up, support each other. And it's all about our kids. It's all about the young people. That's really the story that I've heard everybody kind of repeating is that, you know, our hearts go out. And so we have some great folks here. If nobody has any, oh, I'm sorry.
I was just going to mention now, Mary did mention in the chat, because we were talking about summer camps. Brevard Pals Camp Toucan is looking to have their summer camp. I don't know all the details yet, but when we find that out, we'll make sure we post that information. And then Interventions Unlimited is also, can't speak English, having a virtual summer camp. So we'll find out more information about those too. And I'm sure if not, you can always reach out to SOAP, because I'm sure Mary has the information too. And if we don't have that information, maybe we can put up a screenshot or something on Thursday or Friday or something related to like any summer camp. I'll keep looking and seeing what else we can find or anything that's going on. Okay.
Yes, that's wonderful. I know people are looking ahead to the summer, and you know that this is what we're really having to navigate through is the uncertainty where all of us are just like you, families at home. We're monitoring, you know, what the CDC is telling us, what the governor is telling us, what the school district is telling us, and we're making our decisions based on that minute by minute information that's coming out. And then of course the big unknown is when we do get the go ahead to open back up, how much time are parents going to need to be restored to a level of comfort to where they are ready, you know, and how much contact will they be ready for. So we really are in this thing together, and we have to share the information back and forth to find out, check in and find out where families are. So we'll be diving into a lot more of this over the next couple of days and beyond, because we are hoping that this, like Jackie said, is something that we can, you know, replicate and continue and have a deeper and more engaged relationship within our community, a community of practice.
Well, I see our time is almost up, so I know Jackie referenced it, but just to remind you all before you leave the meeting, tomorrow is Bridges, Parent Support Network, Able United, Agency for Life's Transitions, Great Life Unlimited, Best Buddies, and then Friday will be more of a roundtable. And we'll be recording all of these as we did today as well. So if you're aware of families who missed it, we can share it.
Awesome. Well, with that being said, I think that we are ready to wrap up today's event. Thank you all for coming. Keep your eye out for updates, and but we will be back tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 4 p.m. And we look forward to seeing you then and having more fun. Goodbye, everyone.
Thanks again, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Diane. You are the best.
No, you are. You're the best. You're the best.
You're the best. You are.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay,
All right,
bye.
bye.